Wow, that's loud. Okay, who knows Infogr.am? Thank you. Who knows Pirate Summit? That's good. Okay, so let me, I feel it's very loud actually, I'll just make it a bit like this. Okay, fine. So, quick story about myself. So you can follow me on Twitter, anywhere else with at Uldis. So what I'm doing now is I'm building a new company called Fragmentic. That's my second startup. Fragmentic.com, there's absolutely nothing there, we haven't launched. And I'm organizer of a conference called the Pirate Summit. So those of you who haven't been in the Pirate Summit, you just give you a quick picture slides on the Pirate Summit. So we actually have a setup where we do where we gather folks in a very piratey environment, and startups are pitching, walking the plank in front of the audience, and then we burn a lot of things because we like burning things because it's very good. So that's what I do. And previously I built a company called Infogr.am, and we're currently doing Infogr.am. I'm a board member, but my most attention is now to my new startup and the Pirate Summit, but I got quite a few takeaways I'm happy to share with you. So I was given something between 10 and 20 minutes to speak here, and originally when I started Infogr.am, I was given between 30 and 60 seconds to talk, so like, feel free to interrupt me anytime and throw any questions you got. I'm very happy to answer those. So what is Infogr.am doing? It's a browser-based application that helps you build infographics easily. So what we effectively do, we help media and content marketing to replace boring text with interactive data. And these rather simple data visualizations can drive a huge change to your content. So a bit of science coming from Cognitive Psychology magazine, if you share with your audience text or sound only, the 10% of people will understand that. However, if you do that the same with a picture and a text, or a picture and a sound, then up to 65% of the people would rather understand it. So it actually sells. And now, what is the state of the media today? So those numbers come from a subscription software that powers news sites where you pay actually for reading news. 650 websites in the world, hundreds of millions of readers every month. And 60% of the audience coming to news sites don't read a single article within 30 days from the top to the bottom. Think about how many articles per month you read from the top to the bottom. Now, if you take about 10 articles per month, it's just 7% of the audience. So what Infogr.am does, we increase time spent on site, we increase social shares because people like to share content they understand, and we increase the unique visitors, and altogether we increase the eyeballs and the advertisement on the site, so that helps to monetize the media. This is how Infogr.am looks like. It's a pre-designed template editor. You pick a template you like, you customize it, you add data, it works as a spreadsheet, copy paste from Excel if you like, or Google Docs. You can integrate stuff from anywhere basically, and then you publish that. And these are hyper shareable things. People just like content that is not pure text, and they like content that's interactive. We've got about 30-40 million people visiting on infographics every month. And we have really a lot of awesome customers as well. So we're based in Riga, Latvia, and we're based in San Francisco, about 40 people team, and we have sales in Japan and Australia as well. So a couple of takeaways. Number one is build virality. We have almost never paid for marketing or advertisement. We play around with that, and we have some spendings there. But we got about 70,000 people coming to our site registering every month, just without us basically doing anything. So how we do that, we built infographics that says design with Infogr.am, and then when you embed them in a huge media outlet, they get about 100,000 views every day. And a lot of people are coming back to our site and it's like, hey, I can actually make an infographic. That's fun. The other takeaway was that there's no such thing as a bad industry. Who's here from the media industry? Or like, okay. So my story of media is actually quite personal. I was born in a family of journalists. My grandfather is from radio, my mom's from newspaper, I'm from the online media. And since all of my age, like since age of 2, I was always in the media. I just literally grew in a newsroom. All my memories about any kind of data about newsroom, about the media business, is everything's going down. Then we found an image that made us very, very. So the story of media is like everything is basically broken, and no people don't read, people don't buy, people don't consume content. And then we found this picture. I was searching on the internet, and I was playing around with Google Trends. And I found a trend that seems to be permanently important to the people on the internet. So we had 2 keywords on Google Trends, the red keyword and the blue keyword. Now, what is the most important thing on the internet? There's probably 100,000 people every week searching for, or every day searching for these 2 keywords. So what is the most important thing on the internet? Cats. Exactly. So the red one is, it says funny cats. Now, the blue one, what could be better? What's more important than cats? Porn. No, but I mean, there should be something happening with the world if it just became recently important. So, selfie, okay. Any other ideas? Children? All right, I'll tell you that. So the blue one is infographics. And what made me so enthusiastic about this chart is what an infographic is. Infographic is content, and cats is entertainment. So that means that if you properly package content, there is absolutely nothing wrong with the media industry. The problem is with packaging. So if you package the content properly, people are even more than eager to consume the content. As a takeaway, sales is pretty important. So who has a startup here? Okay. Keep your hands up. Who has a startup that employs people who work in also not in sales? Who has people who work in anything else but sales in your company? Okay. So I'm now building a new company, and we employ a culture that if you don't work at sales, you're fired. There is no particular person in your company that is not working in sales, regardless of what you do. In Infogr.am, we did exchange program between development and sales teams. So the developers work in sales to try to sell stuff, and salespeople try to learn how to write a code. It really changes the culture a lot. So sales is important for one really, really important reason. These are the folks who are in touch with their customers. So who has a startup who doesn't sell anything? Don't be afraid, I mean, I'm not going to bite. Like, if has a startup that doesn't sell anything, I mean, like, Infogr.am was for 2 years and we're not selling anything. So the thing is, if you make a software and you put it on the internet and you say it's free, go take it. And then at one point you say, okay, we're going to monetize when we have a lot of customers, a lot of people using the software, we're going to turn on some magic button and people come and pay for that. The thing is, the value proposition you give to people for free, and then they say, would you like to pay for that? No. If you, like, we are in business, and the business is valued basically is if you like it, you swipe your credit card and say, okay, I like it. If not, maybe we are not delivering the value for you. Maybe what we do is wrong. And if you don't sell, you don't know who needs what you do. Maybe nobody needs what you do. So sales is pretty important. They talk to your customers. The other thing is important is customer service. So some things that has correlation, but maybe I'm not able to correlate those things like in a scientific way. But so we got folks from some technology blog, and they wrote to us and said, hey, we're writing a blog post about something that needs data, and we use Infogram charts, and your charts doesn't work the way we want. Can you help us out? And we spent quite a lot of time. Maybe we spent like 4 or 5 hours during that day and trying to fix what they were having an issue. And a few days more, and this article shows up in their blog, says Mashable. So I have no idea if there's any correlation. But I don't think they would put us on first as a most useful tool on the internet if our customer service would be bad. Now, the other thing is we've been talking with these guys quite a lot, and they still don't, I think, use Infogram that much. I was doing a lot of meetings with those guys. They use the free version, as far as I've seen. But the thing is, every time I meet somebody from BBC, apparently we show up on the news. We've been in Click twice. Another thing is knowledge. So a typical company, any company in the world, a typical company which is not totally wrong, they grow knowledge over time. So the X is the time and Y is knowledge. So over the time, every business becomes a bit smarter. Now, when you join a company, normally, you would pick a company that's smarter than you are. And you go to work, you're like, wow, all those cool people around me. I want to work here. And at one point, you outsmart the company, you become smarter because every normal individual is learning faster than every normal business. I mean, think of it like you have this huge container ship. It's pretty slow. If you drive like a motorcycle by it, of course you're going to be faster, but you're never going to transport all these kind of things, right? So when you join a company, you're kind of catching up. And at one point, you say, okay, I'm smart enough, and I just leave, and I'm gonna pursue a different challenge. Now, what is happening if you work at the startup? The company is actually faster than you are, and you're trying to catch up all the time. How do you grow a startup fast? Is by injecting knowledge into the company. It means you hire smarter people than you are. So we set this strategy in Infogram in the early days that we have three founders, and I think we were pretty smart people. So the first thing we knew was we have no idea how to build it. We've never done it, and we absolutely no idea how to do that. So we want to build a global company. What do you get next? So we hire really, really smart people, and we set this rule that every next person we hire is with a more narrow knowledge, but in that field they are smarter than the entire company combined. So you aim for extreme quality in knowledge. So it scares actually people. So let's say you're a developer, and in 2 weeks we hire a person who's your dream colleague. You watched all his keynotes and everything, now he's sitting next to you. How do you feel about it? Now, if every next person is smarter than the previous one, what it makes about the founders who were the first? So we developed this culture that in a job interview we say, okay, what's your dream colleague? And then we try to hire them. We used to look at about 50 people, especially in development engineering team, we looked at about 50 people before we said one yes to somebody. The other thing we learned in early days was your company need a public face. So one is you find a celebrity that has nothing to do with their life and try to hire them. You try to get somebody who's at least that influential to put a song on every phone without even asking. So who has a startup that has a celebrity working for you to be a public face? Right, we didn't have either. So where you have to work is miserable startup founders. They're not able to speak in public, they're not able to articulate what they say, and they're only given 30 seconds to say that. So they say, my name is Uldis, I come from Latvia, thank you very much, bye. Now, how we do that, we just simply apply to every single pitch, every possible pitch competition, acceleration program, everything, and we failed 2/3 of them. And this is our numbers. So we were rejected from 1/3 of the competitions we applied. Then later on, we got some of them accepted us for some strange reason. And we got at least on stage on top 100. I mean, all of that is a training. It doesn't mean that you win is the goal. It means that you have to learn to be this kind of public person. You have to build connections. Now, after a while, we actually start to win those competitions. For some reason, some people start to like us. And then after a little more while, I think we applied to TechCrunch Berlin and say, you guys should be kidding me. You're too big for us. Like, why do you want to apply to start a pitch competition? It's like, okay, super grow. Another thing is, which is pretty important actually. So when you start a company, at least I had quite a lot of thoughts about why I'm doing that, how I'm doing that. But it's very, very important to understand that basically a startup is a kind of financial instrument. It is the same way like with medicine. You can use that for good, but if you just use it randomly, go to drugstore, buy some 5 or 6 things and just start using them, it's probably going to do more damage than help. So understanding how startups work and actually where do you stand in an ecosystem, what exactly you can get out of that, is pretty important to actually be able to do stuff. So who can tell me what is the difference between a startup and small, medium enterprise?
Startup is an organization working under extreme unknowns.
All right. Any other ideas?
I probably think maybe it's just a word difference.
It's pretty much the same. There's a lot of similarities, and I'm going to show you actually a bit of a comic book which I made. I made it for the European Commission because I had to go to Brussels and talk to those folks. And before that, I had a conversation in Riga with this European Union Digital Assembly, and I had a conversation with a very smart lady there. She was like completely into technology, everything. And then it comes to this question of startups versus small, medium enterprises. Like, well, for me, it's basically the same. And it's like, no, it's not exactly the same. And I was like, no, that was like, for me, it's the same. Okay, I'm probably not the authority to tell that. Okay, so I dig out the Forbes article about it. So, hey, like Forbes says it's not the same. The Economist says it's not the same. How about that? No, it's still the same for me. So I was like, why I can do it for you guys? So I had to go to Brussels. I had to talk to those guys. And I was like, what should I tell you? So I made a comic book. So imagine you go to the countryside to your grandfather. Imagine you're a small kid, you go there and you are sitting on the floor watching a TV. NASA is flying big ships to the space. Wow, that's pretty cool. I want to fly a spaceship. I want to go to Mars. Hey, Grandpa, I want to build a spaceship. What should I do? It's like, what do you guys need? Well, I need details for my spaceship. Okay, fine. He goes to the garage and opens the door, so take everything you got. So I found this car. That's nice. I duct taped some wings to it. I asked the neighboring boys, and it's like, can you push it? Can you help me out? Just push it on the highway. What's the plan? We're flying to Mars. All right, let's do that. So we push out a highway. Have you ever tried to push that thing, especially with 3 wheels? So after 20 minutes, one by one, the neighboring boys just drop out. It's like, no way. It's like, come on, we have to fly to Mars. It's like, no, God, that's not going to happen. Okay, let's go to the corner store. Let's buy ice cream. And let's bring some ice cream to my grandpa, and everybody's happy. So that is small, medium enterprise. So you hire all your friends, all your village. You pay them a lot of money. You probably make 10 times more than your village average. Everybody's happy. Now, you had the great plan. Let's say you do a coffee shop. You had a great plan to take over the world and buy Starbucks in 2 years. Well, it didn't happen, but you are the 3rd coolest coffee shop in 2 districts of Minsk. But that's pretty awesome. All your friends work there. They get free coffee. Everybody's happy. So that's small, medium enterprise. The difference between SMEs and startups is when you got on the highway and you run a startup, magically, for some reason, a space shuttle engine appears on your roof. Now, when you turn it on, there is no way you will go to the corner shop for ice cream. There's one way you're going to burn through the whatever is in front of you, and the likeliness of doing that is like 99%, or probably will take off and actually go to Mars. So that is the difference. It doesn't work it only works at scale. It doesn't work if you want to target the Belarusian market. It doesn't work. If you want to target even the European market, maybe just too small. So it only works at scale, and think of startup as a global corporation in the very early days. It is impossible to work. Like if you want to run Google, can you run Google for Minsk city? Would it work? Or Facebook? I don't think so. So understanding how it works is very important in perspective also from the fundraising side. So understanding the investors. It's very important to understand that investors expect you to have this exponential growth. You are designed to grow fast or fail. You're not designed to go to corner store because nobody cares about it. Nobody cares about ice cream in this industry. So just understanding this setup, what you sign up for. If you build a startup, it's really getting. And the last point is exit strategy. Keep in mind, you're entrepreneurs. So we have two sides. We work closely together. If you raise money from investors, we work closely together. And we have a sort of a similar goal, to build high-growth companies. But not to be mistaken, investors are in business of buying and selling companies. You guys are in business of building great companies. Now, when investors ask you what's your exit strategy, it means, yes, we don't aim to build an SME, we don't aim to do a lifestyle business, we don't aim to build a startup for the next 150 years. We do have a plan how to make it very, very fast. But not to be mistaken, even if your company got acquired, you still keep working on it. Even if your investors got exit, it still doesn't mean exit for the founders most of the cases. So thank you. Drop me a line if you want.